Tome Keepers, a chapter of Space Marines forged in the thick of the fight of the War of the Beast, stand as an enigma within the vast imperium of man. The Tome Keepers' origins, steeped in the mists of time and war, remain shrouded in mystery, as do the ancient tomes they stay to protect. The Tome Keepers, born from the gene seed of the Ultramarines, have carved a unique place within the galaxy. Their role as guardians of knowledge is as vital to the Imperium's survival as the might of their bolters. Their history is one of resilience and sacrifice and a profound connection to the written word, a bond that defines their existence and purpose. Yet beyond the broad strokes of their creation and role, the Tome Keepers remain a chapter shrouded in shadow. Who are these warriors? What trials have they faced? How have they evolved in the face of the galaxy's relentless darkness? These questions, among many others, will guide this Tome Keepers exploration. From their beginning to their current status as stalwart defenders of the Imperium, they will go deep into the heart of this enigmatic chapter, uncovering the secrets of their past, the nature of their present, and the uncertain contours of their future. The Tome Keepers emerged from the War of the Beast, a cataclysmic conflict that nearly shattered the Imperium. New chapters desperately needed to stem the tide of chaos as the galaxy bled. Among these, Chapter 281 was born, its genetic lineage traceable to the noble Ultramarines. The urgency of war marked their inception, but they had yet to forge the path that would define their identity. Their journey to become the Tome Keepers began in the forgotten world of Istruma. Istruma was a verdant sphere on the fringes of imperial space. It was a planet of scholars and artisans, a civilization deeply rooted in knowledge and historical preservation. Yet, their world was fading. A mysterious affliction had started to shorten lifespans, putting the accumulated wisdom of the ages at risk of disappearing with each passing generation. It was a stroke of fate that brought the newly formed chapter to Istruma's shores. Thelcomed as heroes and protectors, the Space Marines soon discovered the planet's plight. Moved by the Istrumans' devotion to knowledge, they vowed to safeguard their cultural heritage. In return, the grateful people bestowed upon the chapter a sacred relic, a vast repository of ancient texts and artifacts, a testament to millennia of learning. This act solidified the identity of Chapter 281. Their existence as Tome Keepers, sworn guardians of knowledge, intertwined with Istruma's fate. The chapter rapidly evolved beyond their role as simple protectors. As custodians of Istruma's knowledge, they recognized the need to preserve and disseminate information across the Imperium. Thus, they birthed two distinct yet interconnected roles within their ranks, the Sky Warriors and the Chroniclers. Sky Warriors, they're the traditional battle brothers, the armoured bulwark against the galaxy's threats, their courage and martial prowess. They're renowned, but they're more than mere soldiers. They're also scholars of war, their minds as sharp as their theopons, steeped in the wisdom of Istruma. Their role extended beyond the battlefield, encompassing the study of tactics, strategy, and the history of warfare. The Chroniclers, on the other hand, they're a unique breed. The written word captivated these Space Marines with an almost spiritual fervour. They're archivists, historians, and philosophers. Their minds a labyrinth of knowledge. They spent countless hours poring over ancient texts, deciphering forgotten languages, and cataloguing the Imperium's history. Their work was vital, for without a clear understanding of the past, the Imperium could not hope to navigate the challenges of the future. These two paths, they're not mutually exclusive. Many Tome Keepers found themselves straddling both roles. Their lives, they're a delicate balance of sword and quill. This duality forged a unique identity for the chapter, one that set them apart from their brethren. Istruma, a world of stark contrasts, is the heart and soul of the Tome Keepers. Bathed in the harsh light of a dying sun, Istruma is a planet of extremes, with the daring mountains and desolate plains punctuated by verdant oases. Istruma is an imperial desert world and the Space Marine chapter homeworld of the Tome Keepers chapter. It is located in the Caracross subsector of the Macarius Alpha sector of the Segmentum Pacificus. Its climate is arid and dry, marked largely by volcanic, desert, and mountain biomes. Istruma exists in a state of perpetual suffering. The system's white dwarf star heavily irradiates the planet's surface, scouring it, except for a single large continent that survives on the dark side of the planet, away from the star's harsh glare. Furthermore, the planet's erratic orbit around its star and the gravitic pull of its two moons create tectonic tectonic upheaval that either births new mountain ranges or regularly tears open the planet's crust to reveal seas of molten lava. By imperial standards, Istruma has a sparse population. Small mining colonies exist in the barren wilderness and deep beneath the mountain ranges, but the majority of the world's population lives on one easily inhabitable continent. The city of Nivene, the planetary capital, houses the vast libraries of the Istruman people. The fortress monastery of the Tome Keepers is located near Istruma's northern pole, atop the Zartos Mountains. The monastery receives heavy shielding to safeguard it from ambient radiation. The inhabitants of Istruma live brief lives due to the planet's harsh conditions and high levels of ambient ionizing radiation. They rarely live beyond the age of 30 standard years. Though the people of this world once had longer lifespans in ages past, over the millennia their technological level, and thus their average lifespans, had declined. In fact, progress in their society is painfully slow because people die at young ages before they can reach their full potential. This high mortality rate forces the Istrumans to learn their chosen crafts quickly so that they can contribute to society before they expire, and there is precious little time to pass on that knowledge from master to apprentice, from one generation to the next. As a result, instead of oral traditions and effective mentorship, the people of this world maintain written records of everything. When death claims an Istruman, these detailed records enable their successor to continue where they left off, if only for a few short standard years before they too must pass on the torch to the next scientist, artisan or strategist in line. Each Istruman records their deeds for posterity in their own personal or family book, essentially like a journal. This, combined with their life's work and their quest to record every bit of knowledge possible, creates a colossal amount of information worthy of filling many libraries. Once filled, Istruma's massive archives store these completed tomes beneath the surface of the planet's capital. The Istrumans are a race distinguished by a profound reverence for knowledge. Learning consumes their lives, and their bookshelves fill their homes. Generations dedicate their lives to the creation and curation of vast libraries, structuring their society around information preservation. This obsession with knowledge is a direct response to their world's harsh conditions. Their sun's waning pothere has resulted in a shortened lifespan, meaning that the accumulation and transfer of knowledge is paramount to their survival. The Istrumans and the Tome Keepers share a symbiotic relationship. The chapter protects the planet and its people, while the Istrumans provide the intellectual sustenance that fuels the Tome Keepers' mission. Their bond is a testament to the enduring pothere of the human spirit in the face of adversity. The Tome Keepers' first recruits. They're a unique cohort. These young men, drawn from the warrior caste of Istruma, they're already steeped in knowledge culture. Their minds, they're as sharp as their bodies, and they possessed an innate curiosity that set them apart. The chapter's recruitment process was as rigorous as any other, but it also placed a heavy emphasis on intellectual capacity. The initial training was a mix of traditional Space Marine training and Istruma's unique philosophies. They taught the newcomers warfare and introduced them to academia. They studied history, philosophy and logic, as thale as the intricacies of warfare. Many families put their sons forward for what became known as the Trial of Pages chapter, in the hope that they would become sky warriors, thereby bringing immense honour to their family name. The Master of Recruits watched closely as the young hopefuls competed in strength and endurance trials before testing their survival skills far into the desert. They fought each other in specially constructed arenas, watched closely by the Master of Recruits. Many did not survive. As the surviving aspirants became neophytes, they began the organ implantation process necessary to become Space Marines. Hotheva, the chapter's apothecaries, noticed a curious psychological side effect after implanting the 18th gene seed, the progenoid glands. Once they became Space Marines, the previously short-lived Istrumans became virtually immortal, and many struggled with the dichotomy, feeling they're denying their rightful place among their departed ancestors. Many of the Istruman people echoed this sentiment, viewing the Space Marines as outcasts rather than the glorious warriors they had imagined. Some of the new Tome Keepers tended towards recklessness, seeing themselves as dead men walking, having already outlived their natural lifespans. Many more became sullen and introspective. They all possessed a fearlessness of death and a mutual acceptance of mortality's impermanence, surpassing even their own people. As the Tome Keepers matured, so too did their understanding of their role. The Chroniclers, who there once a small cadre within the chapter, began to expand. As the Imperium plunged deeper into the Age of Darkness, their importance became increasingly apparent. With each passing century, the galaxy grew more complex, and the need to record and analyse events became paramount. Many used their few solar minutes of personal time each day to write journals, a persistent hangover from their former lives that the chaplains, later called orators by the chapter, seemed unable to quell. As the neophytes became fully fledged battle brothers, they began to note down observations on their foes, devising new tactics and strategies for their destruction. Chapter Master Caelus Viator watched with interest. Though the Codex Astartes promoted adherence, it also encouraged innovation. Had not their Primarch, Robert Guilliman, praised the pursuit and acquisition of knowledge? As the chapter grew to full fighting strength, Viator called for his battle brothers to embrace Istrima's traditions. Batman encouraged his battle brothers to develop new skills and deepen their understanding of their diverse foes. Books they're written. In the millennia that follow Thade, many books came to an end. In time, the Chroniclers became the intellectual backbone of the Tome Keepers. Their work built the chapter's strategies, and their knowledge served as a formidable Theapon in the ongoing war against chaos. It's important now for us to take a detour and realise that for the Tome Keepers at this point, the galaxy was ablaze, consumed by a darkness that threatened to extinguish the Emperor's light. The 41st millennium's dying years, they're a trying time for the Tome Keepers. 2 centuries of conflict with the Necron-Thok dynasty had already taken their toll on the chapter. The chapter, reduced to just over 200 battle brothers, was facing annihilation. During one particularly dismal year, the recruitment trial of pages yielded disappointing results, producing only one successful aspirant. The chapter interpreted this as a sign of an ill omen. The Tome Keepers, ever vigilant guardians of knowledge, found themselves at the forefront of this cosmic struggle. Their role evolved beyond preservation. They became architects of resistance, their understanding of history and strategy proving invaluable in the fight against chaos. The Chroniclers analysed enemy tactics, identifying Theatnesses and predicting enemy movements. Armed with this knowledge, the Sky Warriors became more effective combatants, aiming their strikes with deadly precision. Istruma, too, suffered. The once serene world became a battleground, its libraries and archives ravaged by the relentless tide of chaos. Yet, even in these darkest hours, the Tome Keepers persevered. They ensured the preservation of knowledge by eliminating countless scholars and artworks. Their sacrifice was immense, but their resolve was unwavering. The time of ending was a period of both immense loss and profound growth. The Tome Keepers emerged from this crucible stronger. Their bond with Istruma deepened, and their commitment to their role as guardians of knowledge was more resolute than ever. Following this, they must pause at the era Indomitus, which emerged as a glimmer of hope amidst the galaxy's despair. Following Cadia's fall during the 13th Black Crusade and the subsequent formation of the Cicatrix Maledictum, a myriad of foes beset the chapter on all sides. The chapter, adrift in a veritable sea of enemies, endured more hammering until only 200 combat-ready firstborn Space Marines remained. Despite temporarily stemming the tide of chaos, the Imperium still remained scarred and vulnerable. Like many other chapters, the Imperium called upon Tome Keepers to aid in its reconstruction. Fortunately, the most unlikely of circumstances saved the severely depleted chapter. During the era Indomitus, Primarch Robert Guilliman was reincarnated as Primaris Space Marines, ushering in a new hope against the encroaching darkness. The battered chapter eventually received reinforcement from the Indomitus Crusade Torchbearers Task Force. These representatives of the newly instilled Lord Commander of the Imperium and Imperial Regent delivered a profound gift in the form of a company of existing Primaris Marine Grey Shields, as stale as the technology for the Tome Keepers to start making their own Primaris Marines. The Tome Keepers, for so long vilified by the Adeptus Ministorum as impious and insufficiently dedicated to their duty following the events of the Sanctimonia conflict, see below, and shunned by other imperial organisations as a result, suddenly found their ranks bolstered. Over the last 2 centuries, the Adeptus Ministorum had closed countless books. Currently, numerous new books are emerging. Following the rebuilding of their chapter with newly inducted Grey Shields drawn from the Ultima founding and newly created Primaris Space Marines raised from their own ranks, the Tome Keepers are nearly back up to half their original strength. Ready to take the light of the Emperor to the wider galaxy, rife with unimaginable horrors, the Tome Keepers pledged 2 full battle companies to the service of the Indomitus Crusade. The second company joined Battle Group Oberon of Fleet Tertius as it swung past Avernia and into the Segmentum Pacificus. In this region of space, the massive armada easily quashed chaos uprisings. The battle group headed north to relieve the beleaguered naval base at Hydrafor. The Tome Keepers' third company, Godbreakers, joined Battle Group Khalides of Fleet Primus in the Nephilim sector, now more commonly known to Imperial forces as the Pariah Nexus. Their role in this new era was twofold. First, their task involved documenting the events in order to recover lost knowledge that could contribute to the Imperium's advancement. Second, they there to serve as a bastion of stability. Their unwavering adherence to the Emperor's will was a counterpoint to the galaxy's newfound chaos. The Tome Keepers excelled in both roles. Their chroniclers unearthed forgotten technologies and rediscovered ancient philosophies, providing the Imperium with invaluable insights. Their Sky Warriors became teachers and mentors, sharing their battle experience with the newly formed Indomitus chapters. Istruma, though still recovering from the ravages of war, began to flourish once more. Protected by the Tome Keepers, the planet became a beacon of hope, a symbol of the Imperium's resilience. One of the other key moments for the chapter is the Pariah Crusade. It was a tempest that snaped across the galaxy, a storm of cosmic proportions. The Tome Keepers, ever vigilant, found themselves at the epicenter. The Pariah Nexus, a region of space steeped in darkness and mystery, was a place of both immense peril and unparalleled opportunity. For the Chroniclers, the Pariah Nexus was a treasure trove of the unknown. The Nexus was a void in the Imperium's knowledge, a black hole in the galactic library. They delved into the region's history, uncovering lost civilizations and forgotten technologies. Under the command of Captain Nassian Baltergu, the Third Company arrived at Argovan in the Argovan system within the Pariah Nexus to aid the Pariah Crusade. They joined forces with the Navroni 43rd and Samlek 109th Astra Militarum regiments in order to eradicate a Genestealer cult uprising that has taken over one of the planet's primary industrial sectors. The Tome Keepers slew the cult's Genestealer Patriarch, ending the year-long conflict and establishing Argovon as a staging post for further Imperial military actions in the system. The majority of the Third Company quickly redeployed to Veronica. The planet was sparsely populated, but rich in Noctilith deposits, making it a valuable strategic resource for both the Adeptus Mechanicus and the Necrons. The Tome Keepers, along with knights from House Boros, succeeded in driving the Necrons back from one of the largest Blackstone deposits. The planet was far from secure Hotheva. Meanwhile, a second force under the command of Lieutenant Gadatas Balnoval deployed to Hishria, the sixth and outermost planet in the Argovan system. The Tome Keepers and other Imperial forces tasked the Necrons with destroying a pair of dolmen gates. Despite carefully scouting the approach to the gates, Necron pylons suddenly erupted from the ground, tearing through the ranks of the Imperial advance. Only the intervention of the Tome Keepers and Obsidian Jaguars prevented a wholesale massacre. 2 solar months of grueling warfare finally destroyed the dolmen gates, but the victory proved a Pyrrhic one. A Necron tomb fleet soon arrived in the system, forcing a full-scale Imperial retreat from Hishria. The war in the Pariah Nexus would rage on. Their work was fraught with danger, as the Nexus was a place of psychic turbulence and unseen horrors, yet their courage and intellect proved equal to the challenge. The Pariah Crusade was a test of the Tome Keepers' mettle. It pushed them to their limits, forcing them to adapt and evolve. Their bravery in battle enhanced their reputation as guardians of knowledge, and they emerged from the conflict scarred but unbroken. Now let's talk a bit about their current culture. The Tome Keepers have forged a unique culture, a blend of Istruman philosophy and the rigid orthodoxy of the Imperium. At their core, they are warriors, bound by the same iron discipline as any other Space Marine chapter. Yet their dedication to knowledge has imbued them with a distinct character. Respect for knowledge is a cornerstone of Tome Keeper culture. It is not merely a professional obligation, it is a sacred duty. The chapter's libraries are sanctuaries, places of profound reverence. The Chroniclers are revered figures, their words carrying the weight equal to that of the chapter master. While they are staunchly loyal to the Emperor, the Tome Keepers maintain a critical perspective. Their access to vast amounts of information enables them to see the Imperium with a clarity that many lack. They are aware of its flaws, its contradictions, and its potential for corruption. Hoth-Ava, a deep-seated faith in the Emperor as the sole beacon of hope in a dark universe, tempers this critical mindset. The Tome Keepers also possess a strong sense of empathy. Their experiences on Istruma, a world facing existential threats, have fostered a deep compassion for suffering. This empathy extends beyond their homeworld to the countless worlds they encounter in their travels. They are not merely warriors, they are also protectors, dedicated to safeguarding the lives of the innocent. Their relationship with the Adeptus Mechanicus is complex. While they share a common love of knowledge, their approaches to it are fundamentally different. A dogmatic pursuit of technological advancement drives the mechanics, while the Tome Keepers strive for a comprehensive understanding of the universe. This often leads to friction, but there is also a grudging respect between the two organisations. The Tome Keepers are a transitional chapter. As they delve deeper into the mysteries of the galaxy, their culture and beliefs evolve. Yet one thing remains constant: their unwavering dedication to the preservation and protection of knowledge. They've developed a combat doctrine that reflects their dual nature as scholars and warriors. Their tactics are characterised by a blend of calculated aggression and methodical precision. They are not impulsive fighters. Every action is considered, every move calculated. Their understanding of their enemies, gleaned from their extensive studies, allows them to anticipate enemy actions and exploit vulnerabilities. Where other chapters may rely on aggression or overwhelming firepower to secure victory, the Tome Keepers place a heavy emphasis on clinical battlefield discipline, relying on superior tactics and an understanding of the enemy's capabilities. Along with their everyday tactical training, Battle Brothers are required to conduct in-depth studies on the enemies they will face, analyse all of the Tome Keepers' major engagements, and become proficient in the chapter's battle cant. With this knowledge, a Battle Brother will know in just a few short words what strategy is being employed and his role within it. They also encourage each Battle Brother to keep a journal of his own battlefield observations and learnings, which contributes to the chapter's overall knowledge and facilitates the continuous development and application of new tactics and strategies. In battle, the Tome Keepers often employ a layered approach. The Sky Warriors form the vanguard, with aggressive assaults designed to disrupt enemy formations and create opportunities for the Chroniclers. These support Space Marines, equipped with advanced sensor and analysis equipment, provide real-time battle data, enabling the chapter to adapt to changing circumstances. Their ability to quickly assess the battlefield and disseminate critical information is a hallmark of their combat style. In their arsenal, the Tome Keepers make extensive use of technology. They often equip their bolters with advanced targeting systems, and their armour incorporates advanced materials and protective enchantments. Chroniclers, while not frontline fighters, carry a variety of tools designed for information gathering and analysis. These include data slates, advanced sensor equipment, and even small unmanned aerial vehicles. Tome Keepers stand out physically with their athletic physique, particularly when compared to a primaris Space Marine's massive physique. Their years of rigorous training, coupled with their intellectual pursuits, have resulted in a warrior archetype that is both physically imposing and mentally agile. Despite possessing the same superhuman attributes as other Space Marines, they often exude a scholarly air that can be disarming to their enemies. The Tome Keepers chapter cult places a strong emphasis on the cultural traditions of Istruma, upholding the teachings that science and reason should prevail over superstition and blind faith. Collectively, the warriors of the Tome Keepers chapter are scholars as much as they are warriors. By Imperial standards, they are considered thoughtful, measured, somewhat humanitarian and compassionate, and they will often put civilian lives before their own. The Tome Keepers are a group of warriors obsessed with history. Warriors, also serving as archivists, scribes and librarians, are responsible for maintaining repositories of books and information. The exact reason for this obsession with obtaining and recording knowledge is unknown to those outside of the chapter. Imperial scholars have noted that the Tome Keepers have a higher than usual number of librarians within their ranks. This could be due to their homeworld's proximity to the nearby white dwarf star, whose radiation could be the cause for so many of the Istrumans suffering genetic mutation and the creation of psychers. Due to the sacred oath the chapter swore to protect Istruma's most sacred texts stored within their world's massive library. combined with the short lifespans of the planet's population, the Tome Keepers feel obligated to uphold the traditions of their homeworld. Therefore, every Tome Keeper battle brother keeps his own account of his deeds and day-to-day activities recorded within their own books for posterity. These warriors often carry a copy of these books into battle due to their lack of suitability for the harsh conditions of war. As a result, they firmly secure these symbolic versions of the original on their belts or store them among their personal belongings. After every battle, the battle brother updates them, recording observations about the opponent or highlighting tactics and strategies that proved effective. This way, the chapter is able to continue the cultural practices of their homeworld while accumulating vast amounts of knowledge and information on the galaxy's many threats. However, the constant recording of everything they see and experience is often a point of contention, bet they in the chapter, and those they often serve alongside, since the Tome Keepers have a tendency to see and record things that others might not want them to. These tomes are unusually uncensored within their own ranks, which in effect strengthens these Space Marines' morality compared to more bellicose chapters. Unsolicited observations could lead the chapter into conflict with other imperial institutions, such as the Inquisition and Ecclesiarchy, if they are not careful. As of yet, the chapter has managed to avoid such contentious entanglements. However, previous battles Bethay in the chapter and another chapter of the Adeptus Astartes have nearly resulted in conflict due to disagreements or actions by the other chapter that they should not have observed. Due to the augmented lifespan of the Tome Keepers, this has also become a source of conflict with the local people of their homeworld, whose culture is shaped by the shortness of their lives. Rather than revering the Space Marines as demigods, they view their Astartes masters as untouchables, unnatural outcasts whose genetic enhancements upset the normal cycle of life and death. Even the Tome Keepers themselves are conflicted, bet they in their duty to serve and their natural place among the deceased. The Tome Keepers highly venerate dreadnoughts, as they have endured hundreds, if not thousands, of standard years of warfare, thereby accumulating vast knowledge and battlefield experience. The Sultanate, though formidable fighting machines in their own right, the chapter's dreadnoughts will often offer tactical or strategic advice to the strike force they are fighting alongside, and in some cases have even led task forces, where their field of expertise is of particular relevance. Dreadnoughts hold a special significance for the Istruman-born Tome Keepers, who see them as the ideal balance between death and duty. The Battle Brothers book closes upon interment in a dreadnought's sarcophagus, symbolising their passing and allowing their soul to reclaim its rightful place in death alongside their ancestors. Yet, thanks to ancient technology and a dreadnought chassis, their mortal remains continue to fulfil their duty to the chapter. It is an idealised fate that many Tome Keepers aspire to. The Tome Keepers have adopted several traditions from Istruma, including the closing of the book ceremony. Apothecary retrieves a slain battle brother's personal tome and progenoid glands. Following the engagement, one of the warrior's peers will write the final chapter in their tome, detailing their heroic death. The company orator then conducts a ceremony to honour the battle brother's deeds. During this ritual, he ceremonially closes his book and wraps it in red ribbon, symbolising his sacrifice. Over time, Istruma and Nivene's library receive all of the fallen journals. The Tome Keepers currently find themselves at a pivotal juncture in their history. The Imperium is once again on the brink of war, with ancient threats returning and new ones emerging. The Tome Keepers, ever vigilant, are at the forefront of this cosmic struggle. Their role in the ongoing conflict is multifaceted. As guardians of knowledge, they are working tirelessly to decipher the mysteries of the returning chaos gods and their demonic hordes. Their chroniclers are poring over ancient texts, seeking clues to the enemy's theatnesses. In the meantime, they deploy their Sky Warriors to the front lines, their combat prowess and strategic acumen proving invaluable in the fight against the darkness. Istruma, their ancestral home, remains a sanctuary of learning. Despite its remote location, the planet has become a vital hub for the Imperium's intellectual resources. Scholars from across the galaxy flock to Istruma to study under the tutelage of the Tome Keepers, creating a new generation of thinkers and problem solvers. As the Imperium faces an uncertain future, the Tome Keepers stand as a symbol of hope and resilience. Their unwavering dedication to their duty, coupled with their unique blend of martial prothese and intellectual curiosity, makes them an indispensable asset to the Emperor's cause. The road ahead is fraught with peril, but the Tome Keepers, with their deep reserves of knowledge and courage, are ready to face whatever challenges the galaxy may throw their way. The story of the Tome Keepers is far from concluded, with future chapters brimming with both triumph and tragedy. As they come to the end of the video, they reflect that in the vastness of the Imperium, the Tome Keepers are a thread of unique hue and intricate thayav. Their story, one of scholarship and war, is a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity. From the verdant plains of Istruma to the cosmic battlefields of the far future, they have stood as guardians of knowledge and protectors of the Imperium. Understanding the Tome Keepers is a critical aspect of the Imperium's existence. They are more than warriors. They are historians, philosophers, and scientists. Their role is as vital to the Imperium's survival as the bolter in the hands of a space marine. They are unique. As this chronicle draws to a close, it is with a sense of both fulfillment and anticipation that they reflect on the journey undertaken. The Tome Keepers are a chapter rich in history and potential, and their story is far from over. They eagerly anticipate the next chapter in their saga as the pages of their future remain unwritten. Until then, I hope you have enjoyed the video, and at the very least, consider the book closed for the time being.